Hi everyone, and welcome back to Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. Today we're going to do a 3-star run on, I think we can do a couple of courses. These first few courses in Challenge the Valley are quite simple, and so I think we can knock off Blueberry Thicket and Oak Hill here in one video. Let's tap on Blueberry Thicket there, and let's get started. Now, if you had a chance to see our orientation video, you know that we picked up a few discs, purchased a few discs. Let's maybe take a look at our disc bag. We got the Lucid pack. We got the premium starter pack, which gave us the ability to get the Lucid pack as well as the tournament pack. And so those are the discs that we'll be using as we run through these first 10 courses or so. And as we 3-star each of those courses, of course, we'll be picking up more discs, and we'll just build our bag as we go. And if you're a brand new player here at Disc Golf Valley and you want to get a real good start, a jump start, it's a good idea to pick up these same discs so that as we go through these courses, you'll be able to follow right along with the same discs. All right, here we are on hole number 1 of Blueberry Thicket. And we see the game is recommending a couple of discs here. And the good thing to know is that this is always just a recommendation. In fact, we'll show you a couple places where we probably wouldn't accept the recommendations. But in this case, the 9 speed is probably what we want for this distance, 92 meters. Take a look and notice that the wind is quite strong from right to left. So we could probably get away with just kind of pulling straight down rather than moving it over a little bit for the turn that you have to get to the basket. With this wind, it's going to just naturally turn, and so we won't put too much of a hyzer on that, and we should be good to go. The wind just brings it right around. I like this FD3 disc. It has the attribute of being sticky. So it just sticks the landing. At 9 meters, we could just putt this, but I think I'll go to backhand just to be safe. And 9 meters, we should be able to just send that right in, even in a strong wind. All right, we've got a birdie on our first hole. Let's move on. Hole number 2 is almost the reverse of hole number 1. So we're going to stick with our forehand there and use the 9 speed again and put just a little bit of a hyzer on that. And that brings us right up to the basket. And it goes. All right, the next hole, if we were taking the time to do a walkthrough, I'd show you a couple of different routes you can try on this hole. One is they're giving us a recommendation of 2 skip discs. We haven't really talked about the little symbols that are below the discs. This is what tells us the attributes of the disc. The little paper airplane means it's an extra glide attribute on these discs. And the little orange kind of bouncy arrow there means that it is a skipping disc. When it hits the ground, it's usually going to skip quite a ways more. And so something that you might want to try is to take your skipper disc, put it there, and go through this narrow channel of trees. And that can set you up really nicely to get an eagle. But you can also get an eagle going around this way if you've got a strong enough disc. Now this wind might be a little bit challenging, but let's give it a try on this side and see if we can't get an eagle going this way. Okay, 34 meters and just a little bit of a wind there. Let's see what we can do. You'll have to forgive me if I miss this because we're working with brand new discs here that I'm not familiar with. But 34 meters generally, you'd bring it down just a little bit below that first bar, and in it goes. So there we go with an eagle, and that always helps when you can get one of those when you're working for your 3 stars. All right, I think we can go with the 9 again for this distance. This is up and over a hill, and even though the game is recommending that you use a backhand, let's switch that to a forehand. As you play the game, you gain a little bit of experience and as to what might give you the best chance of an ace. And that's usually by putting your 9 or 10 speed disc pointing about there, and depending on the disc itself, just how much you bring it down, whether you bring it down all the way or back off a little bit. I think with this 9 speed, I'm going to bring it down all the way and see what happens. That's a little short. 10 speeds are a little better choice for this. Okay, next hole, number 5. Okay, the game is recommending the 12 speeds again. I'm not sure why on this hole they're doing that. It's downhill. It's only 106 meters. These are skip discs. It's just way too much disc there. So let's see what else we got in our bag. I think the Explorer here, the 7-speed Explorer, is about all you need. In fact, it's probably too much disc if you pulled it all the way back. I'm going to bring my pointer down to about there and just let it go. It's pretty hard to go wrong on this hole because there's this big backstop. No matter what disc you use, you'll probably be okay because it just hits that backstop and then rolls back towards the basket. All right, number 6. What do we got? Oh yeah, this is a cute little hole. You have to get across a little brook. And the 5-speed is probably the one that we want on this one. And I usually bring my arrow right down to the edge of the brook there. And this disc has a tendency to go to the left, so I'm going to make some compensation for that. And then I usually bring a 5-speed just down to about the second bar there. And let's see how it does. Oh, too much to the left again. Oh, and it went back quite a ways. That's nasty. Good thing we have that eagle in our back pocket. This is going to have to burst through this branch here. So when you have to go through a branch, you know you're going through, bring it down just a little bit more than you normally would. And cross your fingers that it's still going to go through those branches and make it to the basket. Ooh, just snuck in there. Okay, here again, the recommended discs are probably not the best. It's probably recommending those because the distance is only 67 meters, and that would be perfect for a 5-speed. But because it's uphill, and you want to get a chance of acing this, you want to disc up a little bit. Let's see. I think probably the 9-speed is what we want here. Let's bring our pointer up parallel to the basket and put just a little bit of a hyzer on that. Missed it. But an easy comeback for a birdie. 2 more. Okay, again, the distance is tricking the computer in this game. We need something more like the 9 to get up this hill. And the bullseye again. When you're going uphill, here's a little tip. I would put my pointer closer to the top rim of the basket when you're shooting up. We call it an up shot. Otherwise, you run the risk of hitting the lower rim of the basket. All right. Here's a tricky one. When I first started playing the game, I was always going off into the forest on this one. The trick is take your 9 speed, point up into the sky, and then just put a little hyzer on it, and that should come around nicely. Thankfully we can see the basket. Let's just move it over just a little bit, maybe a bit more. Now when you're shooting downhill like this, there's a change of elevation like this, the trick is to not bring it down all the way that you normally would for a throw in. So just pull back a little bit on that and hope for the best. Yeah. All right. That gives us a minus 10 and should give us our 3 stars. And also 3 discs to pop into your bag. And because we purchased some discs, I think the discs that we already have in our bag are better, so we probably won't pop these into our bag. And move on to Oak Hill. All right, let's do it. Oak Hill. This is kind of a fun course. There's lots of chances to get eagles on this course, which makes it really quite easy to get your 3 stars. And I say it's easy. That's if you have the discs. This 12 speed with a nice skip on it should bring us fairly close to the basket and give us that eagle opportunity. And let's see, that dropped right down right after I pulled it down. That's how you miss your shots if you're not watching that carefully. Okay, starting out nice with an eagle. This second hole, if you know the discs that you're working with, there's a chance that you could actually ace this one. I really don't know these discs, so I probably won't, but we'll give it a try. Pull it all the way down and cross your fingers. Whoa, it's close. Come back for a 21 meter. This bullseye disc is actually working out pretty good. I usually just use my 5-speed for putting because it goes so straight. It's a fuse, windbreak, something, I forget, but it is really very accurate. Okay, let's keep on track here. Number 3 here, and I usually put my pointer right about here on the edge of the lake. And with a skipper disc like we have here, we should be able to get up to the basket. And the trick on this one is to put just a little bit of an anhyzer on it and have it fly off to the right a little bit before it starts to come back. Otherwise, you end up with a difficult second shot. But this is kind of what we want. And we'll just toss this in, pull back and push it in. Oh, we've got a nice wind behind us here on this one. We might be able to get an eagle on this one too. Let's put a little bit of a hyzer on this. Have it come around. Get a nice bounce. Yeah. You like it when you have that kind of wind behind you on this hole. All right, this is when you first start playing this game, if you don't have the discs, you pretty much have to first of all throw or drive off to the right there in that big open field and then come over to the basket. But since we have some discs in our bag, we can just go straight over to the basket. The problem is, here again, the game is not really giving us the best recommendations. It's too much disc, especially when there's both of these are skipping discs, extra glide skipping discs. If we used either of these, we'd probably bounce out of bounds. Let's see, a Grace. I think that would be about the one that would be about the right distance. What we want to do is slide it over our pointer and just put a little bit of a hyzer on that. Let it swing around, come through the trees here. Now that left us a little short of the basket, 31 meters. Let's see if our bullseye disc will do this. Ooh, just a little short. But we still get a birdie, and we'll be fine. All right. If you take a look at the little map up in the corner there, you see that the basket is on kind of a little island there. And if we were to use either one of these 12 speeds, we would likely end up in the water. I suppose if you held back, like if you took that 12 speed, and this is where it's nice to be trying out these new discs on the practice range. You can practice any hole, and as we get up into some more difficult courses, we'll probably show you how to use that. But if you took your 12 speed and pulled it down maybe only to about there and had a little luck, your disc would land just before the brook and skip over the brook. It's a little risky. But since we got all of these eagles in our back pocket, why not? Let's give it a try, see what happens. Ooh. Yeah, see, that's what you want. Goes a little bit further than what I'd like. That's 17 to come back. That's not too bad. But when you're first starting out, the safer play would probably be to take your 9-speed or even your Explorer and lay up to just before the little river there, and then come across. It's a par 4, so you've got room to play. All right, 17 meters, and you'll notice the wind is coming almost right towards us. And in a case like that, the disc is going to fly up over 17 meters. And so you want to put your pointer not in the center like we usually do, but point it down a little bit to the rim, the bottom rim of the basket. And over 17 meters, this should lift up. Yeah. So another eagle. Okay, let's see. What should we do here with the discs that we have? I'm leaning towards using the Grace on this one as well. I think that the 12 speed, especially with the skip, would be just too much disc and probably even skip out of bounds. Even though it's 205 meters, it's downhill. And so normally you would want the skipper disc for 205 meters. Something else we should point out, if you look up on the map, you'll see that there is a mando here. And so you do have to go to your left around that mando. And it's with all the trees there, you almost have to anyway. But put just a little bit of a hyzer on this, I think. And that brings us down pretty good. Maybe just slides a little bit more than what you'd like. Your new longest drive, 30 meters. Ooh. Fortunately, it's a par 4, so we still get a birdie. All right, this is why they call it Oak Hill, all of these hills. Notice the wind, that's going to carry our disc to the right. There's several approaches here, and maybe in another video we can show you some of the tips and tricks, the variations. But for today we're just going for our 3 stars. I would say with this wind, I would just put just a touch of a hyzer. We want to kind of sneak through these 2 trees. Something like that without too much to the right. And it's going to go bouncing off into the... And at least we stayed in bounds. But ideally what you want to do is hit that hill and bounce up. And that way you get another eagle on this one. Maybe after we get our 3 stars, we'll come back to this hole. I'll show you what I mean. This one actually is designed for the recoil. This hole here just works out so well. And we'll put a bit of a hyzer on that one and have it swing around. It looks like it's going to go off. Ooh. Usually it comes rolling right back to the basket. But we still get our birdie and our 3 stars. Well, there's a fuse. It's not the best fuse, but it might actually be better than the 5-speed we're using. We might try it out. But just before we leave, I want to take you back. Let's go to the practice mode down here. Go to round and Oak Hill and go to 8. All right, let's see if we can't get our eagle this time. We'll use the same disc, and remember the goal is to slip right through these 2 trees and come swinging around. Hit the base of this hill. Oh, we're coming too much at an angle. Sometimes you can still get it from here. Remember the trick on an upshot is to aim near the top of the basket. And this much of a increase in the elevation. I would even pull it down a little bit more than what you usually do. There. Nice eagle. Let's do it one more time. And that's the great thing about working with the practice mode, is you can replay that hole again just by tapping that. And see if we can't get it a little better this time. Oh, too much off to the right. But there's still a chance here. So you can see that it is definitely possible to get eagles on this hole. I want to show you what it really should look like here. I think this will be the one. Hitting the base of it right about there. Scoot up, and we're 21 meters. All right, well, there you go. That does it for this video. Let's take a look at our Challenge the Valley. I think we've probably opened up some courses. Yes, Lakeside is open. Wind-swept Fields is open. Even Harrowing Winds. Well, we've opened up quite a few courses here. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about Disc Golf Valley or videos that you'd like me to do. See you next time here at Disc Golf Valley Tips and Tricks. So long for today.